So, real quick, or not so quick, I want to talk about episode 6 of Book of Boba Fett. And one of the things that I want to talk about with that, there's a lot of things to talk about, but there's one thing in particular I want to talk about. This, right here, Grogu and Luke, and us beginning to see the training that Luke is putting Grogu through, and to some degree the choice he makes Grogu make at the end of the episode. So in this episode, Luke is training Grogu. Mando comes to visit him, drops off the chainmail, but doesn't see Grogu, and Ahsoka and Mando have a talk. Luke and Ahsoka have a talk, and Ahsoka very clearly is not going to stay at the temple and help Luke. She's choosing not to, which I think is valid. Ahsoka's got her own things to do, and I don't think she's at a point yet where she wants to help rebuild the Jedi Order, partly because I don't think she's ready to rebuild it the way it was. She wants to see what Luke does with it first. I also think it's fascinating that Luke gives Grogu a choice at the end, a very black and white choice. Stay with the Jedi Order, be trained, or go back with the Mando. You can't have both. And I'm interested to see what Grogu ends up choosing, because we don't get a lot from Grogu. He's very expressive, but we don't get a lot of what's going on in his head other than mischief through most of The Mandalorian, and it would be interesting to see his choice. I think it's also interesting that that's the choice that Luke gives him, and says something about Luke's eventual journey to Episode 8. And to continue with that line, I think this is interesting that this is the first glimpse into Luke's actual training style, and how that affects what he becomes in Episode 8. I honestly am curious to see what they do with this character going forward, and I would love to see how they end up tying Luke and the Jedi Order and Grogu into the larger canon of Star Wars, especially since we know what happens in 40-ish years with Episodes 7, 8, and 9, assuming that those remain canon, which I'm betting that they will. My final thoughts here are that this is the Luke Skywalker that I wanted to see. Like, when they revealed him at the end of 2 of Mando, this is the Luke that I wanted to see. And they're now giving that to us, and I'm really, really fascinated to see how they take that from where we're at now to where we get to Episode 8, and what happens to these characters in the meantime. I've enjoyed this so far, and hopefully we're going to continue to enjoy it going forward. Thanks, guys.